Starbucks is one of the world's most recognizable coffee brands, but in Malaysia, its recent trajectory has been far less triumphant. Since 2023, the company's local story has painful retreat rather than the steady dominance usually associated with the green siren logo. Operated in Malaysia by Berjaya Food Berhad under the leadership of tycoon Vincent Tan, the Starbucks franchise has endured mounting financial strain. The business has reportedly posted losses amounting to millions of dollars, shuttered dozens of outlets, and seen its market share gradually chipped away by increasingly competitive local coffee chains. Yet this is not a story about Starbucks Corporation's global fortunes. Internationally, the parent company remains a powerful player and is pursuing a broader turnaround strategy. The Malaysian experience is instead a more nuanced case study, a reminder that even a global brand can struggle when local conditions turn unfavorable. In Malaysia, several forces have converged to create a difficult operating environment. Geopolitical tensions have influenced consumer sentiment and purchasing behavior. At the same time, homegrown coffee brands have sharpened their appeal with more localized menus, competitive pricing, and a stronger connection to everyday Malaysian consumers. Economic pressures, including rising living costs, have further squeezed discretionary spending, making premium coffee purchases harder to justify for many customers. Together, these factors have transformed Starbucks Malaysia's challenge into a powerful example of how global reputation alone is not enough to guarantee local success. A brand that dominates in one market can falter in another when geopolitics, competition, and economic realities combine to reshape consumer choices. The difficulties began in late 2023, when the Israel-Gaza conflict intensified and consumer boycotts spread across many Muslim-majority countries. Some consumers targeted global brands they believed were connected to Israel. Starbucks became one of the most visible brands affected, partly because of its size and strong global presence. Public discussions involving founder Howard Schultz also contributed to perceptions of a political connection, although Starbucks Corporation has repeatedly stated that it does not fund either side of the conflict. In Malaysia, where public sympathy for Palestinians is strong, the boycott movement gained significant support. Younger, socially engaged consumers were especially active in supporting the boycott, which affected public sentiment toward the Starbucks brand. The numbers clearly show how serious the situation became. For the financial year ending June 2025, Berjaya Food reported a net loss of RM292 million, about $69 million, almost 3 times higher than the RM91 million, about $22 million, loss recorded the previous year. Revenue also fell sharply by 64%, dropping to RM477 million, about $113 million. The company also wrote off more than RM150 million, about $36 million, worth of store equipment and property because many outlets were underperforming. Berjaya Food said the main reason was the prolonged impact of the ongoing sentiment related to the Middle East conflict, which changed how customers spent their money. As sales declined, Starbucks Malaysia began closing and consolidating stores. The number of outlets fell from 408 in mid-2024 to around 320, and by late 2025 had dropped further to about 287. During this period, reports claimed that more than 100 stores had closed. Starbucks Malaysia disputed those reports, saying only a small number of outlets had been permanently shut down. According to the company, most of the affected stores were temporarily consolidated, and employees were not laid off but transferred to nearby locations. Although the boycott has received the most attention, it is not the only reason Starbucks Malaysia has struggled. The coffee market in Malaysia has become much more competitive. Local and regional coffee chains have expanded rapidly, offering lower prices, greater convenience, and products that better match local tastes. At the same time, inflation has made many consumers more careful about spending, leading them to choose cheaper coffee options. Rising rental costs have also made it more expensive for Starbucks to operate a large number of stores. The latest results suggest that Starbucks Malaysia's decline may finally be slowing, although the company is not fully out of trouble yet. In the first quarter of fiscal 2026, sales at existing stores returned to growth, increasing by 7% in Malaysia and 5% in Brunei. This is an encouraging sign that customer demand may be starting to recover. Revenue also improved, rising 11% from the previous quarter to RM128.2 million, about $30 million, while the company's loss narrowed to RM16.2 million, about $3.8 million. Instead of expanding rapidly, Starbucks Malaysia is now focusing on strengthening its existing business. The company is improving operational efficiency, increasing workforce productivity, and investing in more targeted marketing. It also plans to open only about 10 new small-format stores, taking a much more cautious approach to expansion. So is Starbucks dying in Malaysia? Not literally. It still has hundreds of stores and a path back to modest growth. But the Malaysian franchise has absorbed a genuine sustained hit, a boycott rooted in geopolitics, compounded by fierce local competition and rising costs, that erased the bulk of its profitability and forced real contraction. What's left is a brand in slow rebuilding mode, smaller, more cautious, and still trying to win back trust and market share in a country where consumer sentiment turned sharply against it. If you found this breakdown useful, smash that like button, subscribe for more deep dives like this, and drop a comment. Do you think Starbucks can win Malaysia back? Let me know below.